The studio lights blazed down on the set of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, the audience buzzing with anticipation as the band played a lively tune to signal the start of the next segment. Stephen, with his signature grin and quick wit, adjusted his tie and leaned toward the camera, introducing his next guest with the kind of enthusiasm that could make even a tax audit sound thrilling. "Ladies and gentlemen, he's a global icon, a martial arts legend, and a man who's made us laugh and gasp in equal measure. Please welcome the one and only Jackie Chan." The crowd erupted into applause, some standing, others chanting "Jackie, Jackie," as the man himself bounded onto the stage, his infectious smile lighting up the room. He waved, bowed, and threw in a playful spin kick for good measure, earning another wave of cheers. Stephen, clearly delighted, shook Jackie's hand and gestured for him to sit on the sleek black couch. The two exchanged pleasantries, with Stephen diving right into Jackie's latest film, a high-octane action comedy that had just hit theaters. "So, Jackie," Stephen began, his eyes twinkling with mischief, "you've been doing your own stunts for, what, 5 decades now? Don't you ever think, maybe I'll let the stunt double take this one?" The audience laughed, and Jackie, through his interpreter, chuckled and launched into a story about a stunt gone wrong in his early days, involving a runaway horse and a very confused director. His animated gestures and self-deprecating humor had the crowd eating out of his hand. But as the conversation shifted to Hollywood's changing landscape, Stephen, ever the provocateur, tossed out a curveball. "Jackie, you've worked with everyone from Bruce Lee to Chris Tucker, but let's be real, nobody's topping your chemistry with Owen Wilson in Shanghai Noon, right?" The audience hooted, but Jackie's smile faltered slightly, his eyes narrowing as he leaned forward. "Owen's great," he said, his tone measured but with a hint of edge, "but I think my best co-star was me, myself, and Dia because I do all my own work." The crowd laughed, but Stephen, sensing an opening, pressed further. "Oh, come on, Jackie, you're telling me you didn't love those buddy cop vibes? I bet Owen could keep up with you in a fight." Jackie's laugh was tighter now, and he crossed his arms, his body language shifting from jovial to guarded. Stephen, perhaps unaware of the tension, doubled down, joking about how modern CGI could make anyone look like a martial arts master. "I mean, with green screens, I could probably kick your butt, Jackie." The audience roared, but Jackie's smile vanished entirely. He leaned closer to Stephen, his voice low but firm. "You think fighting is just effects? You think it's easy to do what I do?" The air in the studio thickened, the audience's laughter fading into murmurs. Stephen, ever the professional, tried to pivot, offering a light-hearted "Well, Jackie, I'm just a nerd with glasses, don't hurt me." But Jackie wasn't having it. He stood, pointing a finger at Stephen, his voice rising. "You disrespect the work, the years, the pain. You think it's a joke?" The crowd gasped, and Stephen's face froze, his usual quick wit momentarily stumped. The tension was palpable, and the producer in the control booth was frantically signaling for a commercial break. Jackie, his face a mix of frustration and pride, shook his head and began to walk off the set, ignoring Stephen's attempts to call him back. The audience sat in stunned silence as the band played a hurried transition to commercials, leaving everyone wondering what had just happened. Backstage, the crew scrambled to make sense of the moment, while Stephen, still at his desk, forced a smile for the cameras, muttering under his breath about needing a vacation. The clash, though brief, had turned a routine interview into a spectacle that would dominate headlines by morning, with fans and critics alike dissecting every word, every gesture, every ounce of Jackie's righteous indignation. As the commercial break ended, the cameras rolled back onto Stephen, who was now alone on stage, his usual composure slightly rattled but his professionalism kicking in like a well-oiled machine. "Well, folks," he said, addressing the audience with a sheepish grin, "that was a broken bar unexpected. But let's be honest, when you invite Jackie Chan to your show, you're rolling the dice on some serious passion." The crowd chuckled nervously, still processing the moment when one of the world's most beloved action stars had stormed off the set. Stephen, ever the showman, leaned into the awkwardness, recounting a story about the time he accidentally offended a guest by mispronouncing their name, using humor to diffuse the tension. But backstage, The mood was far less jovial. Jackie, surrounded by his small entourage, was pacing in the green room, his hands gesturing wildly as he spoke in rapid-fire Cantonese to his manager. The interpreter, a calm but visibly stressed woman named Lisa, was trying to explain to the show's producers what had set Jackie off. "He feels disrespected," she said, her voice steady but firm. Jackie's spent his life perfecting his craft, breaking bones, risking everything. When Steven made that comment about CGI, it hit a nerve. It's like saying his entire career could be faked with a computer. The producer, a harried man with a headset practically glued to his ear, nodded sympathetically but was clearly more concerned about the show's runtime than Jackie's feelings. "Can you get him back out there?" he pleaded. "We've got 20 minutes left, and the audience is expecting him." Lisa shook her head, glancing at Jackie, who was now sitting on a couch, sipping water and staring at the floor, his earlier fire replaced by a quiet intensity. Meanwhile, social media was already exploding with clips of the exchange, fans on X posting furiously about whether Steven had crossed the line or if Jackie was being overly sensitive. "Jackie Chan just owned Colbert," one post read, while another countered, "Colbert was just joking. Jackie needs to chill." Back on stage, Steven was now fielding questions from the audience to fill time, his charm working overtime to keep the energy up. He even tossed in a self-deprecating jab about his own lack of athletic prowess, which got a laugh, but the audience's eyes kept darting to the side of the stage, hoping for Jackie's return. In the green room, Lisa knelt beside Jackie, speaking softly. "They want